Good morning, class. Welcome to yet another session of online classes slash analysis of chapter and explanation. Today we shall discuss the English main course, English Honeysuckle, lesson number 2. The name of the lesson is How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. We all know what dogs are, right? Dogs are this tiny creature which we keep as pet animals at homes also, right? They are faithful animal. They serve us, isn't it? So this is a story which traces us towards back date and actually reveals how the dog found its ultimate or new master. Okay, so let's read along and try to understand. Before we read, let's see, there is a warm-up section. See, you may know that the dog and the wolf are closely related, isn't it? Take a look. This is a dog, while the animal circled in blue is a wolf. Do they look similar? Yes. Except there are a few differences in size and some other features. But they are basically related, isn't it? You may also know something about how over the centuries human beings have domesticated and tamed wild animals. See, over the centuries we have domesticated and tamed, means we have learned how to keep wild animals as home by taming them, by teaching them humanly manners and ways, right? So dog is an ultimate example of that as well. So here is a story about how the dog became a tamed animal. Earlier it used to be a wild animal. So how dog turned out to become a domesticated animal is what we are going to learn in this story. Okay. So without any further delay, let's begin the explanation. I'll be reading the story paragraph wise, and then I'll be giving you explanation to important words and its meaning occurring as and when required. Clear? So here we go. Let's begin. First one. I'm here. Dogs were once their own masters and lived the way wolves do, in freedom, until a dog was born who was ill pleased with his way of life. Okay. He was sick and tired of wandering about by himself, looking for food and being frightened of those who were stronger than he. So, this dates back to the times when dogs used to be their own master and used to choose their own life. They were supposed to be roaming around jungles and search out for food or whatever is required. Clear? But as time passed by, what happened is, dog as time passed by, what happened is, there was a dog born in, let's say, the dog community who was ill pleased. Ill pleased means who was not happy at all with the way dogs lived. Clear? Means he was a bit lazy, let's say. He was sick and tired of wandering, means roaming around here and there in search of food and shelter. Okay, he was also weary of the fact that whenever he went out in search of food, he would have to deal with animals who were stronger and wilder than he was. Okay, so keeping this in mind, he, would be planning something, would be thinking of something, what would it be? Let's see. So we learnt a new word here. The word is ill-pleased. It means unhappy. It's an old-fashioned English. Okay? We usually don't use such words now. Okay. Let's move on to next para now. Paragraph 2. It's here. He thought it over and decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth. And he set out to find such a master. Okay, we thought the best solution for this problem was to find a master of someone who was stronger than anybody else. Clear? He wanted to find someone who was stronger than anybody else on the entire earth, and he assumed that if he finds one such person or animal or whatsoever, he would be safe. Clear? You don't have to wander around here and in search of food and all. Clear? This is what he thought. Do you think it will go as per he planned? Let's read along to find. Clear? Three. He walked and walked, and he met a kinsman of his. Kinsman would be relative here. It's again an old-fashioned English. Clear? The meaning of the word kinsman is relative. What is it? Relative. In Hindi we call it rishtedar and all. Clear? Just give me a moment. Let me adjust the screen space. So he walked out and I'll repeat this. Okay. He walked and he met a kinsman of his, a big wolf who was as strong as he was fierce. Okay. So as he walked along, he met a kinsman of his. He met a distant relative of his who was very big and strong and fierce. Okay. The meaning of word fierce is violent and frightening. Who looked intimidating, one who used to instill fear upon others. Clear? So they'll be having a conversation. Let's see. Where are you going, dog? Where are you going, dog? The wolf asked. Clear? So the wolf asked, where are you going, dog? I am looking for someone to take up the service with. Would you like to be my master wolf? Would you like to be my master wolf? So dog was asking. Okay. First, wolf was asking, where are you going, dog? Then dog replies, I'm looking for someone to take up service with. I would like to work for someone, Would you like to take me up? Would you like to become my master? The dog asked the wolf. So what would the wolf reply? Let's find out. I don't see why not, the wolf said. And this agreed upon, the two of them went on together. Okay, so the wolf happily agreed. You say, yeah, why not? You could become my servant. You can become my servant. And saying this, the dog was made to follow the wolf. Okay. They walked and they walked. I'm on fourth para. They walked and they walked, and all of a sudden, the wolf lifted his nose. They kept walking. But all of a sudden, what happened is the wolf lifted his nose as if he was sniffing something. Sniffing, right? As if he was sniffing something, he darted quickly. It means he moved quite quickly off the path, as if he was trying to hide or make way for someone. He darted off the path and into the bushes and crept deeper into the forest. So all of a sudden, as the dog and the wolf were walking, the wolf acted quite strangely. He darted backwards towards forest, and was actually hiding himself. Okay, which was kind of contrary to what he used to be. All right. The dog was much surprised. Okay, he thought, "Wow, I used to think that this wolf is actually the strongest thing on earth." But to his surprise, he was scared of something. Clear. So the dog would obviously ask, because he is inquisitive by nature. Clear. So he asks the wolf, "What's come over you, master?" He asks, "What has frightened you so? Can't you see? There's a bear out there, and he might eat up both of us, you and me." Clear. So the wolf replied, "Can't you see there is a big bear coming up? If he sees us, he's going to kill and eat both of us." Okay. So the dog makes an observation. The observation was that the wolf, whom he thought was the mightiest, was even afraid of one animal, and the name of this animal was the mighty bear. Clear? So, seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him. Okay, he wanted to now, switch jobs and work for the bear now. Okay, and he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. So, like the wolf did, this time the bear readily agreed. Okay, he said, "Yes, you can be my servant." Okay, and he added, and I quote, let us go and find a herd of cows. I'll kill a cow and then we can both eat our fill." Okay, so this was the plan of the bear. He said, "Let's go and kill a cow. We will have our fill. We'll eat the flesh." Okay, so now let's follow what happens. So they started walking again. They walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. But just as they were about to come up to it, they were stopped by a terrible noise. Okay, so they were walking towards this herd of cow. But as they were about to execute their plan to kill a cow, something stopped them. It was a terrible noise. What could it be? The cows were mooing loudly. The cows were, seemingly panicked, and they were moving here and there as if they were running in for their life, searching, saving themselves. Okay. The cows were moving loudly and running in a panic in all directions. They were moving in almost all directions in a panic mode, as if they were trying to save themselves. Okay. So let's continue. Number 7. The bear looked out from behind a tree. So now the mighty bear, what was he doing was he was looking out from behind a tree, and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. Okay, so hastily, slowly he ran deeper into the forest as if he was saving himself. Okay, so the dog would make a second observation, and what would he say? Let's see. "Now, why did I have to come here?" said he to the dog. "It is the lion who rules the forest in this part." Okay, so the dog asks, okay, "Why did I have to come here?" Sorry, the bear explained, "Why did I have to come here? Do you know? It is simply because the lion is the king of the jungle, and it is the lion who rules the jungle entirely. You cannot do anything by entering the territory of lion. Whatever the lion wishes, he does it accordingly. Okay, we cannot do things as we wish in his territory. We cannot simply infiltrate, means move in and do what we wish. Okay, so what would the dog reply? Let's see. He says, "The lion, who's he?" Now the bear replies, "Don't you know? He's the strongest beast on earth." The dog replies, "Well then, I'll say goodbye to you, bear, I want a master who's stronger than anyone on earth. See, the dog keeps changing his stance, right? Now that he found out that the mighty bear was even scared of some animal called lion, who he said was the king of the jungle, he was all set to leave the lion. He was all set, sorry, to leave the bear for the lion. Clear? Because he had made up his mind to follow up or be servant to someone who was the strongest in order to find a safe home, plus to be, you know, not to lead a regimented life which he used to, like having to find food, shelter, whatever it is. Okay, he wanted a break from that life. He no longer longed to, you know, be part of what was going on. Clear? I think it's simple. We are clear up to here, right? And off the dog went to ask the lion to be his master. So the dog went on and he asked the lion to be his master. So, like all the other animals did, the lion too readily agreed. And the dog, okay, so the dog was quite faithful towards the lion for a long, long time. Okay, working for him because the lion, as you know, is the strongest animal on jungle. Nobody can actually trudge the ground or enter the territory where lion establishes himself, right? The lion agreed to it and the dog stayed with him and served him for a long, long time. It was a good life and he had nothing to complain, for there was no stronger beast in the forest. Because lion is considered the strongest animal on forest, right? There was no animal as strong as lion was, and is even, and no one dared to touch the dog or offend him in any way. Everybody, used to show some sort of respect towards the dog because he was the official servant to the king of the jungle called lion. Clear? But one day the two of them were walking side by side along a path that ran amid bare cliffs when all of a sudden the lion stopped. Clear? They were walking by a barren path, walking side by side, when all of a sudden the lion stopped, as if he saw something very scary. He gave a great roar and struck the ground angrily with his paw with such force that the hole formed there. There are hole formed there. Okay, so the lion started walking, and as he approached somewhere, he thud his paw against this earth. That there was this mighty, what do you call it, force was felt almost everywhere, and there was this hole, yeah, where he struck. Then he began to back away very quietly, but he was quite aggressive, seemingly aggressive with his behavior, the way he rode and then thud against the ground, against his claw, and making impression on the ground. But then in the next moment, what happened is he began very quiet, and then he went back without doing much. "What is it, master? Is anything wrong?" asked the dog, surprised. So for the dog it was the ultimate surprise. He asked the mighty lion, "What happened, master? Is anything wrong?" So the lion says, "I smell a man coming this way." The lion said, "We'd better run for it or we'll be in trouble." So the lion says, "I'm smelling a human being coming towards us. I think we should run away. Otherwise, we'll be in some danger." Okay. So even now, the dog will come to know that even the mightiest animal was namely called, even the mightiest animal called lion was scared of one thing, or one being to be precise. What was it or who is it? It is human being, right? So now the dog would be even more surprised, and he'll make up his mind and change the decision to stay with the lion. What would he say? Let's see. He say, "Oh, well then, I'll say goodbye to you, lion. I want a master who's stronger than anyone on earth." Yeah. And off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him, and he served him faithfully. So he was very faithful towards dog. Whenever we mention the word faithful, we resonate it with dog, right? Dog has become synonymous to faithful. Can we imagine big houses without dog? Dogs are like our guards and all, and they are quite gentle by nature, and they go to any extent to save their master, right? So that is why they are termed faithful. This happened long ago, but to this day the dog is man's most loyal servant. We all know this, right? And he knows no other master. Okay, so this is the end of the story. With this, we come to conclusion of today's section. In the next class, we'll discuss vocabulary, word meanings, and few exercises. Thank you everyone for being part of this class. It was wonderful to be with you all. Keep working hard.